All right, traders, we're going to be going over the top option plays heading into this week. I'm going to be breaking down the following stocks. This is going to prepare you to trade the best setups at the best prices. We're going to be discussing Roku, DWAC, DraftKings, Roblox, Shopify, SPY, CROX, Mac, and Limit. These are going to be some great day trading and swing trading opportunities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to determine whether the bulls or bears are in control of the trend, the key levels to be trading at heading into this week, what confirmations to look for to determine if the bulls or bears are in control of the trend. And of course, the key levels, right? So the key levels, where to enter, where to set your price target, where to set your mental stop loss, where to buy the call options, where to buy the put options. I'm going to show you how you can trade these both ways. So we're going to be starting off with the SPY. So this is what I want to bring awareness to in terms of the SPY. The SPY has been on a pattern, and this pattern has been repeating itself for about 3 days in a row right now. So let me show you this pattern. SPY hits new 52-week lows, SPY hits new 52-week lows, it starts to trend up, it starts to trend up, and this is the pattern that is currently in play. So as you can see right here, SPY has a gap down, and as you can see right here, SPY has a gap down. What happens on day 2 and day 3? On day 2, SPY gaps up. On day 2, SPY gaps up. On day 3, SPY goes a little bit lower than the previous closing price. SPY goes a little bit lower than the previous closing price, and then it closes strong at the highs, then it closes strong at the highs, right? So that is a pattern that has been repeating for 3 days in a row. As you can see on the 4th day, what did the SPY end up doing? On the 4th day right here, SPY ended up gapping up. So for history to repeat itself and for this overall pattern to repeat itself, SPY would need to gap up tomorrow. So here's my theory. I've identified this pattern, right? And patterns and trends break all the time. So basically, for SPY to be super bullish into tomorrow and break above $400 and go super bullish, what would need to happen is we would need to see a break above the previous closing price, which is $398.51. That needs to turn into support. And ideally, we would need to see a gap up. So the theory is history is going to repeat itself if the SPY gaps up, and if it could turn $398.51 into support, we'll be on track to break above $400 to close strong towards the highs. Now, in terms of history to not repeat itself and in terms of the trend to break, as you can see, SPY is currently having a gap down. It is a small gap down. It closed at $398.51 on Friday. It's at $397.50 right now. So here's what I want to bring awareness to. If the SPY gaps down, that is a sign that the micro bull trend is breaking and that history will not repeat itself. And we will see a trend reversal and the bears will start to take control. So for that to occur, what you would want to see happen is you would want to see it gap down. It would need to stay under $398.51. So if that reacts as a resistance level and SPY gaps down, that is super bearish and a signal and a sign of the trend breaking. Now for the bears to take full control heading into tomorrow, this is what you're going to need to see. Ideally, you want it to gap down. You want $398.51 to react as a resistance level, but this is the most important thing. This is a huge resistance level with very nice quick downside potential. Let me show you the 5-minute chart just to make things more clear for you. So you can see right here, we have a lot of nice resistance at 397 to 397.30. When it reacts as a resistance, the SPY likes to sell off to $393.60 to $394.50. It likes to have a nice, very quick drop. Well, as you know, if resistance breaks out and then it bottoms at previous resistance forming support, instead of having that big downside move, it's going to have that big upside move, which is something that we saw happen into Friday, right? So the bulls took control very nicely into that micro trend. So what you need to understand is for the bears to take true control and show true strength, they need to crack below 397.30. If they can crack under 397.30 to 397, we will see a nice micro sell-off to 394s, which would be a key level to be locking in profits, right? So those are my overall thoughts. That's the analysis on the SPY. I showed you how to determine bull and bear both ways. The key levels that I will be paying attention to tomorrow are going to be 397.30, make or break support, and 398.50, make or break previous closing price. And I've explained with you the ways to determine how the bulls or bears are in control, to determine the potential trend reversal, right? So that's my analysis on SPY. That's going to be a very lucrative trading opportunity. Another thing that I want to bring awareness to in terms of the daily chart. So looking at the daily chart, You can see right here, we have a very key support, also key resistance towards $400. It nearly hit $400 on Friday. So if we crack under 397.30, I will be playing the puts. If 398.50 reacts to strong resistance, I will be playing the puts. But if this gaps up and 398.50 is turned into support, I think we're going to go bullish and break above $400 if that occurs. If not, then the trend's going to switch and the bears are going to take control and we are going to start to see that micro sell-off reversal. That's my thoughts. That's my analysis for the SPY. Now, we're going to be breaking down the top option plays along with the SPY. So we went over the SPY and I went over how to determine bulls or bears in control in terms of the strikes that I'm going with. I will be going with at the money strikes, closest expiration, scalping very quickly in and out like 20, 30-minute holds max. So these are going to be the top plays. Roku, DWAC, DraftKings, Roblox, Shopify, Crocs, Mac, Limit. Day trading and swing trading opportunities. So in terms of Roku, had some nice support right here. And if that reacts as a resistance, we're looking at big downside potential, right? So that's a key level right here towards this gap fill zone, this 62.40 level, right? There's also a gap to fill below. So I want to buy puts on Roku. All I need is the first red day, right? So you see how there's a nice strong green day on Roku, then it has that first red day and then it just chops the highs and then it sells off. So here's the game plan, guys. The game plan is simple, man. Roku, it's consistently pushing for new 52-week lows. There's now a gap to fill below, which gives opportunity to, play for that gap to fill below, right? So this is mainly going to be a swing trading opportunity, What I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for that first red day, right? So this is a first red day example. This is a first red day example, first red day example. When it uptrends, when it uptrends, when it uptrends, when it uptrends, first red day example. So basically, once Roku has that first red day and it's looking bearish on the daily chart at resistance, and these candlesticks that I'm speaking of on the daily chart, they will not be determined and they will not be closed until the market is closed. So in terms of when I enter my swing trades, I enter at the very last minute for the most part. That's my bearish confirmation. So if I see Roku closing weak, it's forming a bearish candlestick towards this resistance, towards this previous support area, towards this gap fill level. Once that occurs, I will swing trade puts. I will be going with at the money strikes. And in terms of expiration, I will be looking into a 2-week expiration. I think 2 weeks is more than enough time to see a nice pullback on Roku stock. So I'm simply waiting for the first red day, and once it closes weak on that first red day, I will look to swing trade puts. If it has a small move up, I will look to add to those puts. That is the number one setup into this week is Roku puts, wait for the first red day. That's the number one play. So you got to wait till the first red day. Once the first red day occurs, you buy the puts at the money, go with like a 2-week expiration, and you swing those right before the market closes, right? Because you got to wait, because Roku can go from red to green. The market can flip during, market hours. You got to wait right before the market closes to enter these swing trades. So our next play is going to be DWAC stock. DWAC stock is on high alert. Very interested in trading this stock. So in terms of this one, this is what I want to bring awareness to. I've identified a 3-day pattern. So in terms of a 3-day pattern, this is the 3-day pattern. DWAC stock gaps down. As you can see, has a nice green day, has a nice green day, has a nice green day. Basically like 3 nice overall green bullish candlesticks. And then once it fills that gap, it closes weak towards the lows, and then it forms lower highs, red bearish candlestick, chops at the highs, consolidates at the high, loses volume. Then eventually it sells off. So I'm going to be looking for that history to repeat itself. As you can see, DWAC stock gap down, and then it has this green move right here, and it's already up during extended hours at 26.50, topping out at 27, and it closed at 25.09. So it's already having a nice gap up, and it's already repeating this history. This is very interesting here. Look at this pattern, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and it's already gapping up. On the third day, DWAC stock ended up gapping up, and it shot up to fill this gap, and it's shooting up right now to fill this gap at 28. It topped at 27, and once it filled that gap, the trend reversal began to occur. It closed weak at the lows on this day, having that trend reversal at the gap. It started forming lower highs. Once it formed this bearish candlestick right here on the daily, a hard trend reversal and sell-off began to occur. And as you can see, DWAC stock is going to have a gap to fill below at 25.09, because it's gapping up. There's also gaps to fill below at 17.48 and 16.33. So here's my game plan. This is going to be a swing trade, just like Roku in a sense. So here's my swing trade idea. I'm looking for this history to repeat itself. If history does not repeat itself and I don't get my bearish confirmations, then I will not enter the trade. If I'm seeing bullish confirmations, I will not be buying calls. Well, Will, if it looks bullish and your strategy is saying it's bullish, why wouldn't you buy calls? Because in terms of call options, I buy low. I don't buy high. I'm not looking to be a breakout trader, especially in a bear market when a stock's inflated and up over 100%. Want to see who's getting crushed in the market? The people who are buying high, the people who are buying into overbought moves, the people who are buying into breakouts. My strategy was literally telling people to buy DWAC stock when it was at the lows. These are 52-week lows. There was a gap to fill here. There was a gap to fill here. It fills the gap. It consolidates. It forms bullish trend reversal candlesticks. And then it has a reversal and rockets. My strategy was telling you to buy low. Now my strategy is telling you to short high, to sell short, to buy put options, right? But I'm not going to buy those puts if there's no bearish confirmations. And I'm not going to buy the calls because it's too high and overbought. I don't care if it's bullish and it can go higher and break above 30 and go to 36. I don't care. I put myself in the best position to succeed as a trader. As time passes, this stock will easily retrace back to the 17s and 16s, giving you an opportunity to buy low, to buy the dip, right? I trade the best setups at the best prices. So here's the game plan. Look for the confirmations, look for history to repeat itself. If we get the confirmations, enter the puts. If we don't get the confirmations, don't do anything. Just find another play. I got so many plays on here. I'm trading the best setups at the best prices. This Roku play is going to be a home run, and DWAC can be another phenomenal one as well, as long as we get confirmations. So, Will, what are the confirmations that you're looking for? Well, I'm looking for this gap to fill. Once we hit this $28.08 gap, I'm looking for resistance to form. If resistance forms, if we see a first red day, if it's closing weak at the lows like this is a nice, fills the gap, it closes weak at the lows, right? Something like that, forms the red bearish candlesticks, consolidates at the highs. I will look to swing trade puts 2 to 3 weeks out. 2 to 3 weeks out will be the game plan, and I'm staying at the money, so $27, $28 strike if we get those bearish confirmations. And the theory on this play is if it tops out at the gap and it starts consolidating towards the top, losing steam, losing volume, forming a red bearish candlestick once I get those confirmations on the daily, which are not determined, again, until the market closes. My theory is it's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks for it to crash, right? 2 to 3 weeks for it to crash. So it's not going to be like last time where I instantly make 100% return on puts holding overnight. Why is that? Because the volume is drying out. The volume is drying out on this play. We are due for some sort of consolidation period. We are due for some sort of resistance on this play, right? So that's what I'm looking for. Very simple. I explained to you what it is that I'm looking for. If I see it, if I get the confirmations, I will enter the trade. But if this hits $28 and it's closing strong and it breaks above 28 and it's not just resting at the top and it's breaking out and it hits 30, then no, I'm not going to be buying puts because there's no bearish confirmation. It's not solely based off of price. There's bearish confirmations. I look for strong hard rejections. I look for weak closes. I look for the first red day. I look for consolidation at highs. I look for the volume to fade. Very specific with what it is in the way I trade. So if I get the confirmations, that's my game plan. If I don't get the confirmations, I don't buy calls into a bullish confirmation at the top, and I don't buy puts solely based off the price. Very simple. Very, very simple. Keeping it as simple as that. Now, in terms of the bulls, in terms of the people who are chasing the top, in terms of the people who are hoping for the, unbelievable, in terms of the people who are not going to be successful in the long run, what you need to happen is you need $28 to break out. You need it to turn into a floor. You need it to form support. Once it does that, it goes to $30. If it breaks above 30, here's where you're going to be on track to go to overall. This is a very key level on this DWAC. This right here, this 36, this 36 to 34, basically right here. This nice, strong 33 to 36, but you could see that already reacted as a resistance and super bearish. I am so bearish on this play, man. Super bearish, so bearish. All I need is my confirmations. I cannot wait to swing those puts if I get the confirmations. And if I don't, then I don't care. I don't care about missing out. If this goes bullish and turns 30 into support, I'll just wait for it to fill this gap at 43. And then I'll enter the puts. Do the same shit at 43. Like, it's just so simple, man. So next play is going to be DraftKings. Same exact strategy, gap, close, reversal. So, this was just in the 10s. It's up like 50% in a couple days. So basically, I'm waiting for the gap to fill right here at 1565. Once it hits at 1565, if it reacts as a resistance, I will then scalp the put options. If it, fails, if it closes weak at the lows, if it forms a red bearish candlestick at the gap. So for example, there's a gap to fill right here, right? Same play, massive sell-off, fills the gap. Once it forms the red bearish candlestick on the daily at the gap fill level, it has a reversal. It gets absolutely crushed, right? So I'm looking for the same thing to exactly occur. I'm waiting for the red bearish candlestick on the daily to swing puts, and you can also scalp these. So if you see strong resistance at these levels, you can scalp them in and out very quickly for a nice percentage gain on the options. And then in terms of swing trading is not determined until the market closes, until we get the bearish confirmation. So if you are getting in early, it's nothing but a day trade and a scalp, right? You can use the same confirmations for day trading and swing trading, just to understand how to enter these plays. In terms of Roblox, this isn't the overall best setup. I do want to see how it reacts towards this 38 gap, but there's better plays. I think DWAC is going to be a better gap close reversal. I think Roku is going to be a much better play to short. I think DraftKings is going to be a much better play as well. But I do just want to see how Roblox reacts at this $38 gap. I'm just not too interested in this one, but I do want to see how it reacts at that price. Shopify, the play on this one is fairly simple. What it is that I'm looking for in the play on this one would be, you can see there was a gap to fill on Shopify right here at $39.58. It filled the gap and it had a tiny little pullback. And this is a strong resistance channel, a very strong resistance channel. So basically my game plan on Shopify is to short the first red day. Once Shopify is down on the day and it opens up red, what I would do is when I'm shorting the first red day, when I see a stock gapping down, it's having the first red day or it goes green to red, what I want to do is I want it to go back to the previous closing price, right? So I want it to go back to that previous closing price on the first red day. And if that reacts as a resistance level, it pulls back. I look to scalp puts as close as possible to the previous closing price. That's what I want to do on Shopify, right? So that'd be the gameplay. Wait for the first red day and then scalp puts. And again, when it has that first red day on the daily, so when it closes red on the daily, I look to swing trade puts minutes before the market closes. So again, this is day trading and swing trading strategies on these puts. Our next play is going to be Crocs. Crocs is just extremely overextended. It topped out at a nice whole round, nearly $100 level. As you can see, there was a gap to fill on Crocs right here at $100 in like 90 cents. It nearly filled the gap. It started to reverse very, very nicely, forming this red bearish doji at key major resistance. I mean, just look at this, man. It looks very similar to what it did right here. You have this nice green candle gapping up. And then it closes weak at the lows with this bearish trend reversal candlestick. And then the next day it sold off very, very hard. So what I want you to focus on is Crocs. I want you to focus on scalping Crocs tomorrow. And there's going to be a potential swing trade coming up on this one. But this is what I want you to look for. If we break under this 92.40, we go under 92.40. You see a drop under 92.40. You see this support crack react as a roof, form resistance at this support level. Scalp the put options and ride this down to like $88, $89 for a nice scalp, right? And the strikes that we're going with are at the money with the closest expiration when we're day trading. When we're swing trading, you always want to give yourself a little bit more time than anticipated. So like in terms of our upcoming DWAC swing trade, due to what's in play and what I'm seeing, if we get the confirmations, I would say 2 to 3 weeks. For Roku, I would go at about 2 weeks. For Shopify, you can go a little bit more short term on that one, maybe 1 to 2 weeks. For DraftKings, like 1 to 2 weeks. We'll see. We got to see how these all play out and how they're reacting. Our next play is going to be on Mac stock. So based off the daily chart, this isn't looking that bullish. It's looking fairly bearish, but it's not too volatile. It's fairly choppy as well. I'm just keeping an eye on this one, but I'm very interested in playing puts on this stock. Now, for this play, it would be more of a long-term play. I'm just keeping this on the back burner. I'm just keeping this on my radar. Don't have too much to say about it right now other than I'm bearish. And this would be a more long-term type of leap option put play. Another more long-term leap option put play that is extremely on my radar is limit stock. Limit stock is extremely overall bearish. I personally think from a macro perspective that the stock is overall done. I think if you're swing trading puts 1 to 2 months out with at the money strikes, I think you'll absolutely bank. But we got to wait for an appropriate entry, right? So based off what I'm seeing, this is extremely bearish. It's due for a pullback, and I would value this at like $435. $435 is what I would value this at. $435. I'm extremely bearish on this stock. I think within the next 1 month, about 30 days, I think it will hit 430. Right now it's at 464. So what would be some ideal entries? Well, the best entry possible would be at 490.77. I doubt that's going to happen, but if it does, it would be an absolute gift if you went with an earlier entry to average it into puts 1 to 2 months out. A key level of interest is this previous support right here. If we see 472 react as a resistance level, then I'll be interested in swing trading those puts. So if I'm seeing bearish confirmations at 472, I'll swing trade the puts. If not, then I will wait for a higher level at 480 to 490.77. 490.77 would be the best level. But for the most part, it's just about done. I think within the next 30 days, we're going to see something like this. I'm telling you, it's just not looking good. Something where we just get that nice move to like 430s. It wasn't too long ago where this was at 480 and it dropped all the way down to 410. And then here again, it was at 474 and not too long, it dropped to 416. And then even a little bit longer, it dropped all the way down to 380. And there's multiple gaps to fill below. And this is screaming Moderna and SPY $500 fail breakout. I've been discussing this within the Discord chat room for a little bit over 2 weeks now on how I've been so bearish on this stock. This is basically going to be Moderna and SPY all over again. I do this all the time. I compare stocks to how they react at similar levels with similar patterns. I recently did this with DWAC, and I absolutely nailed the trend reversal of DWAC. I compared it to triple BY, which people thought I was crazy for doing that. You want to talk about fucking crazy? Look at this. This pattern on DWAC, check out this pattern right here. We're going to compare DWAC to VERU, and then I'm going to get back into this limit situation. So check out this pattern. See this move right here. See how DWAC gaps up right here, and then see how VERU gaps up right here. It has this nice green bullish day. DWAC has this nice green bullish day. Then look at the second day from where it gapped up. Look at the second day from where it gapped up. Same trend reversal candlestick. What happens on day 3? Absolutely massive gap down collapses. Look at VRU, absolutely massive gap down collapses. That same pattern that I used to nail DWAC stock on the daily literally occurred with VERU a day after DWAC. That's crazy, man. This happened 1 day after DWAC on VERU. You could have looked at this chart on DWAC and you could have said, okay, look at this pattern right here. What happens on day 3? It collapses and it gaps down. Wow, VERU is doing the same thing. Here's day 3. It collapses and it gaps down. Same exact pattern, man. Absolutely insane. So now I'm telling you this limit is going to be the next one. Now this is like a leap swing trade put option where you could kind of scale into, but this is overall going to be bearish. So I'm basically looking to short the rips. I'm already convinced it's done. I'm just looking for rips to short and to add into. I don't think, like for the micro, I could be down. But again, I'm holding for like 2 months. I want to go with like a 2-month expiration. 1 to 2 months, I think we will drop to $430. So for this limit play, I think it's going to be Moderna. Moderna hit 497, and then it started forming these red bearish candlesticks and gapping down. It quickly sold off hard to 350. I made a 1,500% return swing trading put options on Moderna. I nailed the top exactly at 490. I did the same thing with SPY when it was at the highs. If you go back to my channel on August, you go back to August 2021, I nailed the top of Moderna. I did the same thing with SPY, man. I absolutely crushed it with put. SPY almost hit that $500 level. Look at this pattern on SPY, man. Look, we're going to compare SPY to limit. I'm telling you, this stuff works, and it's at that key $500 whole round number. Limit's next, and it's detached from the market. Limit is no longer following the market. Look at this. SPY is chopping at the highs. No one's showing. Look at this. SPY's chopping at. Oh my God, man. This is perfect. It's perfect. Look at this pattern, guys. SPY is chopping at the highs. SPY has a gap up, nice uptrend. Limit has a gap up, nice uptrend. Look at this. They look like the same stocks. It's chopping at the highs. Right before it gets crushed, it hits new all-time highs right here. You see that? Then it just gets crushed right here. Gets crushed. And then look what happens. We go down a little bit lower for the short term, pops back up, and then it gets hammered for the macro. You better believe limit is about to pull a SPY. Oh my gosh, man. This is going to be a big play for me. I'm going to put in tens of thousands into this one. This is my full high confidence setup. So the best ones that I'm seeing right now, the ones that I really are enjoying, limit, this is like my number one setup. All the bearish confirmations I've triggered. So basically the game plan is just to scale into puts that expire in 30 to 60 days on rips. So when it starts spiking, just scale in on rips, average in. I'm not going to take in my full size initially on a rip. I'll take in like 50%. And then if it rips higher, I'll add the other 50% of what I want to do, right? That's what I'll do. I'm not expecting to be right for the short term. This is a macro play. I don't give a shit about the short term. The only thing I care about the short term is I got my bearish confirmation is rips. I just want to add puts into rips and hold contracts for about a month and a half to 2 month expiration. That's what I want to do. At the money strikes, my target on this stock is 430, 2 months max, most likely in a month to 1.3 months. That's my game plan for limit. We're going to crush it. I'm going to prepare members in the chat. It's going to be a passive income play. I'm going to walk them through how to average in safely, explain to them not to take their entire position of what they want to put in up first because they could get squeezed for the micro, how to average in safely, how to cost average in. It's going to be perfect. This is an A1 classic setup. So my favorite plays that I'm seeing right now, I would say limit is number one. I think it's going to be a very lucrative day to be day trading the SPY tomorrow. So that's going to be a great day in terms of day trading for passive income swing limit. And I really like this DWAC. I think I'm going to kill it on DWAC again here soon if I get my confirmations. If not, then I stay away from it. I'm liking the DraftKings setup. Shopify is a little interesting. We got a lot of opportunity, but in terms of the top ones, man, SPY is going to be great for day trading heading into tomorrow. Roku is on my top watch for the first red day. The DWAC pattern is priceless. DraftKings is a great setup. Limit is a great setup. Do you see the direction I'm pointing to? Crocs is okay. I like Crocs. It's all right. I like it overall, but I'm seeing better plays. So, yeah, those are the best setups. That's what I do. I point people in the right direction. I show you how to trade the best setups at the best prices. And as you can see, in terms of when I'm buying puts, when I'm shorting stocks, if you look at the charts, I'm showing you stocks that are at key resistance levels in a bear market that are proven with this pattern to repeat histories, right? I'm not shorting stocks at support levels. I'm going with the resistance levels, right? That's why I said even with limit is not at the best price possible for puts, but we got strong bearish confirmations that this is basically done if you're holding puts 1 to 2 months out. So, I'm aware that it could spike for the short term, so I'm going to scale in. I'm going to scale in on rips. I don't care if I'm down 20, 30% on the contracts. I look at rips as a gift. I look at, okay, if I just put $5,000 into puts on limit and I'm down 30%, I'm smiling saying, okay, it's time to add $5,000 more. That's what I'm doing in this situation. Every play is different. I don't do that with every play. I understand that that's more of a leap option play. Every play is different. DWAC is going to be a great one. Roku is going to be a great one. DraftKings is fairly interesting. Shopify is fairly interesting. SPY is going to be great for day trading. This is what I do. Buy low, sell high with unique gap trading strategies with the confirmations of history repeating itself. When I'm buying, it's low. It's oversold. When I'm shorting, it's at resistance. It's not at a key breakdown. It's at major resistance on the daily. When we're in the middle, that's more of the gamble. That's more of the not a good entry. That's more of the less risk to return ratio. That's more of the this play isn't worth entering. This is for the suckers, right? If I'm playing in the middle, then I'm well aware it's not the right thing to do. And if I do it, I'm well aware of what it is that I'm doing. And it's a small position size and it's more of a gamble. But in terms of trading the best setups at the best prices, I know what it is to look at and I understand what it is to see. And I will always point you in that right direction. That's what we do differently on this channel, right? There's no hopium. We are not looking to hope and buy for a breakout. Instead, we look for strong confirmations of resistance and we short into that fake out. And if it's strong, looking like it's going to be a bullish breakout, we just stay away from it. We don't do anything. We just stay away from it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. That's my analysis. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're going to absolutely crush it within Trader Society. Make sure you're subscribed because soon enough, I'm going to reopen up a new program and I'm going to reopen up Trader Society. As of now, Trader Society has been officially private. It's going to be reopening up fairly soon, but it is private. I'm looking to get the members the best results possible, and then I'm going to be reopening up fairly soon, right? So right now, it's just members only access. We're not accepting any new members, but fairly soon, we will be. I will keep you guys updated. Those are the best plays. That's how you trade the best setups, the best prices. We are absolutely going to crush it within Trader Society.